Come on, Blue Sky. Cooperate. I know it's just you. Oh my god, Blue Sky. Having all sorts of problems? One second, folks. Trying to get Blue Sky tweeted out, but apparently Blue Sky just went down or something. I don't know. Apparently they just went down or something. Oh well. Alright, we're up and running. Hello, Internet. I guess I want to share a couple of things real quick. Since we talked about the Switch 2 a whole bunch last night. And this is probably like the one part that I think would be very important for you to know, or at least if you are going into purchasing a Switch 2, if possible. About the Switch 2 editions of games. Anyway, I thought I was following that account. Apparently not. So, first and foremost, somebody managed to contact customer support on Nintendo. And they state, bear in mind this could be wrong, but they state that Switch 2 editions of the Switch 1 games that are getting upgrade packs, so Prime 4, the 2 Zeldas, Kirby, Pokemon, Jamboree, they're just a Switch 1 cart with a code to pick up the download or the upgrade pack on the Switch 2 eShop, basically. Yeah, this is what they state. Whether or not that fully is the case, because they could be wrong. They could be just wrong information on their part. We don't know for certain. But I basically would say... actually, also, additionally, on the UK Nintendo site, especially because Tommy was asking about this last night, if you have the Switch 1 version of a game, even if you do the upgrade pack for Switch 2, you can still play the game on Switch 1. Period. That's what it states here. If you already own the original Nintendo Switch game as either a physical or digital version, you can upgrade to the Switch 2 edition by purchasing the game's upgrade pack via Nintendo eShop, My Nintendo Store, or at retailers. After you upgrade, the original Nintendo Switch game can still be played on Nintendo Switch, though the features and content of Switch 2 extension can only be played on Switch 2. So again, even if you upgrade the Switch 2 version of Tears, you can still play Tears on Switch 1. Which is good. It seems like in either case, even if it is a new cart in the box, that is like a Switch 2 cart version. The cart is a Switch 2 version of tiers. It seems like either case, the ISO, like the baked-in ISO, I would assume, is basically just the Switch 1 version of tiers. And that all your upgrades and improvements are in that update file. That seems like the simplest answer for what this is. Like, there's not a Switch 2 version of tiers in terms of a file. There's just Tears of the Kingdom that just has a file that has improvements and stuff to take improvements and stuff. That seems to be it. That seems to be the simplest explanation I can think of for like how this all seems to be sorted out. Whether that turns out to be fully the case or not, I don't know. But that is how my brain is looking at this, because that seems to be the simplest answer. Switch 1 tiers and Switch 2 tiers are basically the same thing. The only difference is you're paying an additional $10 to get all the enhancements, improvements, and the Zelda Notes integration on Switch 2. Now, I don't know if you can play tiers without the upgrade pack, since we do know that there are Switch 1 titles you can play on Switch 2 that do not require an upgrade pack in any capacity. That I don't know. That, I think, is the more interesting question of like, wait, can I just play tiers on Switch 2 and not have to buy the upgrade pack? Because if not, then what does tiers look like just vanilla without any of like these big improvements supposedly from this upgrade pack? Like, there's a lot of questions here. I don't know if Nintendo is willing really hard to say, hey, you can play tiers in Breath of the Wild without the upgrade pack on Switch 2, because then that basically says you do not have to pay us $10, especially if it looks good enough. I don't know if they'd be willing to say that right now. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. But yeah, that is like a quick Switch 2 update of sorts. I'll make sure to kind of like try to roll in as much like extended info that has come out as I can for tomorrow, since all of this is important information. And so if you're listening to us talk about it, you know, it's worth it to hear us try to say the most correct information possible. Because we're not really sure on the whole upgrade pack situation, especially because there's like 2 versions of upgrade packs, basically, dependent entirely on game. So it's bleh. I wish Nintendo just went, hey, just like give us a $5 and for like any of these games and you're good. Also, I've been like asleep for like 90% of today. Like I got up because my parents left to grab some stuff for redoing our porch in a couple weeks for Easter. And then I like went back to sleep after they got home. And I got up just a few hours ago for like food and stuff. This is one of those days where I'm like, I'm sleeping all day because I just don't have it in me to stay awake. I wonder why. It could be any reason. That's why, like, just to tell you, like, the TGSs that are going out for 2023, they're only scheduled, like, a day in advance. I've only scheduled, like, a day in advance, like, 2 days in a row. Even though the playlist is perfectly sorted. I just haven't felt the need to like advance schedule everything, like sit down and do the scheduling for everything, because unlike every other backlog thing, there's like extra things I have to do for the TGSs. Like I have to put into the tags the relevant topics. I have to actually go to the show notes on our drive, grab those to know what the hell to put in the tags to start with, and what to say in the description. Son of a bitch. Oi. Fuck off. And I have to put the show notes in there, and it's a little bit more work than some of the other backlog stuff I've done. And I just haven't felt like I about shot my teammate. Oops. It's a bit more than how I've felt like doing the last couple days or so. Again, I wonder why. There could be many reasons. Damn it. But yeah, like, I guess just, I think just in general, because I saw the talk of like, this might be incorrect, and I'm like, yeah, it might be incorrect. But I think just, it's necessary to know that Switch 2 editions of the games, maybe, I would say, if you are going in on Switch 2, if you can, again, stuff going on complicates that greatly across the board. But if you're going in on Switch 2 for Switch 2 editions of games, if you own the game already, maybe don't pre-order the Switch 2 edition of the game until we have some sort of confirmation what is in the box. And if you are up in the air on like which version of the game to get, specifically for like Prime 4 and ZA, it might still behoove you to wait and see. Or at the very least, if you are keeping your Switch 1, it might be better off. You might be better off just getting the Switch 1 version of the game, regardless. Because I think from what I saw in the pricing of the Switch 2 editions, it seems like that $10 to $20 is baked into the price for the Switch 2 version. So basically, you're not paying any more extra than you already would have if you're picking up this, like the Switch 1 version of the game. Especially if that Switch version of the game, the second older one that is on sale. Also, as an additional reminder, Switch Online people are getting the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom upgrade packs for free. Or, like, baked into their... well, it's still for free, technically, because you're not paying anything extra. But as a part of Switch Online, you're getting Tears and Breath of the Wild upgrade packs for free, so there's... honestly, it seems like there is no point in picking up the Switch 2 versions of those games if you have them already. It seems like. But yeah, it's one of those times where I'm like, Nintendo, you had a free win, and then you complicated it. Granted, some of it is like outside world stuff, but like, goddamn, you could have just not made this a thing of question marks and like, okay, what? Son of a bitch. Missed the second shot. Why did you make it complicated? Probably also doesn't help that I feel like, honestly, this is probably the first time Nintendo has ever been in the position where they could actually do this. Also, it feels like this is the only time Nintendo has ever been able to do this. Let's be perfectly honest. Because I'm trying to think of any other time that it wasn't just a port of the game to another console. Have they ever been in the position or ever tried to go, hey, here is like X game on new platform. Hello.
Hello.
I don't know if you see the thing I have in the TGS chat to remind me to put it in the notes tomorrow. I need to put another thing in there as well.
Yeah, I did see that. That kind of makes sense then.
Yeah. I did find an answer
Essentially, well, luckily that right there actually kind of explained a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those wondering, I was wondering about taking a Switch 1 game that has the upgrade option for Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
In light of what you posted in there, the way that looks is the Switch 1 game at its core isn't going to be modified. It's going to be essentially a DLC that you're buying for the Switch 2 upgrade stuff.
That seems like the simplest solution to the problem, since Nintendo has never done this before. And I think also never really had an opportunity to do this before.
They kind of did. They just didn't do it when they had the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because the 3DS, new 3DS, could have done this exact same thing.
Yeah.
But they refused to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If they're doing it that way, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because what that still means is, even with the new virtual game card stuff, it's still going to be the Switch 1 game at its core.
Mm-hmm.
That Switch 2 upgrade is just a DLC that is Switch 2 exclusive.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm. And thanks to the UK storefront, or the UK shop, I think, it answered your question about if a Switch, when you upgrade, if it's still playable on Switch 1, it is.
Well, that right there that you posted in there says that too, technically.
Oh, what I had...
if they're packaging a Switch 1 version of the game with the upgrade, then that tells me those are two exclusive things, meaning that you could still take that Switch 1 game back to the Switch and be fine.
Yeah, before I forget to do this, yeah. That there, like the third bullet point right on top, it explicitly says, hey, even if you do the upgrade, game is still playable on Switch 1. Period.
My question is, I buy Prime 4 on the... My question more is, I buy... Yeah, Prime 4. That works for what I'm trying to think here. I had to think that through. I buy Prime 4 for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't purchase the Switch 2 upgrade.
Yeah.
Can I still play it on the Switch 2?
Yeah, that... I feel like
that's
Nintendo...
the part that I want to know also. Because if not, do I think even upwards of $20 more to play it on a upgraded console is a bad thing? No. But I think that needs to be clarified.
Yeah.
If I take Prime 4 Switch 1 version, stick it in the Switch 2, am I going to be able to play it, but without the additive upgrades that the Switch 2 upgrade would have gave me? If so, I'm fine with that. I don't have to spend the extra money. I can still play the game. If so, then that's kind of a shame on you, but I understand why shame on you kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Nintendo doesn't want to answer that question because that loses them money. If it's a case like one answer loses them money, one answer is a PR disaster.
Well, would it actually lose them money?
Well, if people
think about in the Prime 4 mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want better precision targeting by being able to use the Joy-Con as mice to get that pinpoint targeting?
Well, yeah.
Because if so, you're going to pay for that upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
If not, then why should I have to pay for something that I don't want just to play it on that console?
Yeah.
You're still going to get money off of the game itself. I don't really think that is a make or break concept.
Mm-hmm.
Much like with Jamboree. I don't think getting the additives is a big difference maker on whether or not people are going to pay for that upgrade or not, kind of deal. I think that's going to be the definer anyhow. If they want the extra, they're going to pay for it to get it on the Switch too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's one of those, it would be a win-win if they went ahead and told everyone, because then people could look at it and say, okay, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, if I upgrade to Switch 2, I get the Zelda notes that we know nothing about right now, but
mm-hmm.
I get the interactive map that can point me to different things.
You get extra lore narrated by Zelda and in Breath of the Wild and why am I blanking on his name? Goat Man in Tears of the Kingdom. Rauru, yeah. You get extra lore from the two of them.
And I mean, that's good. Don't get me wrong. That's additive for older games.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I don't want all those bells and whistles? What if I just am getting a Switch 2 to replace my Switch, and I want to still be able to play those games regardless? Can I do that without getting the bells and whistles and be essentially playing it in a compatibility mode? Or am I forced to buy that upgrade?
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, my situation, why can I not join you?
I don't know.
Attempt to join this player has failed. Please try again. Let me try it this way. Sorry, that just completely sideswiped me.
Fair.
I've never had that happen.
MCC, why are you being dumb?
It is failing to let me join you.
Why?
Is it letting you join me?
Boop. Joining. Yes. I can join you. Why?
Fine. But anyhow, to complete that statement, it's not a problem necessarily for me because I'm still going to keep my Switch.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to turn into a homebrew Switch 100% by the time that I have a Switch 2. But that's beside the point.
Same, eventually, I hope, one day.
But I still would like to know that, because do I need to still keep my Switch in the ability to where I can play games without fighting anything? Or am I perfectly fine with being able to convert my Switch into a Linux computer and be done with it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of that end of it. And I'm not mainly saying that in that aspect. It's more of there's a lot of people that are probably debating on trading their Switch in for a Switch 2.
Yeah.
It's questions like that that need to be answered. Are
Mhm.
they going to be forking out $450 for the console and having to pay upwards of $20 for every game they have?
Mhm.
Or are they going to be able to not pay a thing, play all the games they've got, and just not have the upgraded bells and whistles?
Mhm. Especially when some games are getting free updates. So clearly, you are getting an improvement on the Switch 2 for a Switch 1 game. But, like, by how much?
And that's one of those. Nintendo's going to make a problem, and I have a funny feeling it's going to cripple the initial sales for the Switch 2 if they don't start answering that.
Yeah. Of course, I saw some.
Because if I'm going to trade in my Switch to use towards getting a Switch 2, I still need to be able to play those Switch games. It's one of those, it's like, Nintendo, you have made a good decision and have failed to give all the information on said good decision.
Yes. Amongst other things.
Yeah.
Also, I find it something I saw was someone was saying that like the Switch 1 games will essentially be running on an emulator because of the hardware differences with Switch 2, and I'm like, that sounds weird, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
I doubt it.
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't seem necessary for that to be the case. Granted, when I said that someone was getting that you're getting a GameCube emulator on the Switch online yesterday for Devil's Bite, he's like, an emulator? And I'm like, yes. What do you think all the Switch Online stuff is?
It wouldn't surprise me if when we get our hands on the Switch 2 and the GameCube NSO stuff, if people don't start digging into the back end and find out that it's not a proprietary emulator, like how the N64 one is, and it's actually built off of Dolphin. Because I say that because my Google News feed on my phone here about a week ago just so happened to give me an article about the fact that Dolphin is a near perfect emulator. It has one thing that will not boot, and that is the Wii home channel.
Oh no!
And if I'm not mistaken, when I was looking on their official compatibility list, it has like a 97.3% of games that are pretty much fully playable. At least playable in the sense of you're not going to get it to just hang up and crash.
But Devil's Spidey comment yesterday in chat just made me go, how many people do not realize that
I'm sure quite a few.
That not just for Nintendo, because this is the same for Sony, and I want to say Microsoft for some of their backwards compatibility stuff. I'm not sure how theirs work, but I know for Sony, their older stuff is running on emulators. I assume Microsoft's the same case. I wouldn't think otherwise.
I think you're right on that. Actually, everything 360, and I think on the 360, the original Xbox stuff all was running emulator.
Yeah,
I know the 360 is. I know the 360 stuff on the Xbox One is, for the simple fact of when you are in a 360 game and you hit the home button, you get greeted with the final version of the 360 dashboard. It is full on, not even trying to hide it, 360.
Yeah, I just wonder how many people do not realize that all that older stuff on current consoles is running on emulators. Because I know I saw a tweet way back that like one of the Toku people I follow is like, I just don't play emulators. I'm like, so you've never played anything on Switch Online, and never played any of the backwards compatibility on PlayStation, and never played any of the backwards compatibility on Xbox, because that's all emulators. You just don't know it's emulators because the company does just say it's an emulator. Because that's how it has to work in order to get it to run.
Also, it wouldn't surprise me if the Switch 2 is actually running Switch games via an emulator.
Mm-hmm.
What did we get shut down by Nintendo within like the past year to 2 years, I think? Both Yuzu and Ryujinx.
Oh, yeah.
They both got hit with DMCA.
God, that would make sense.
Why do I think they're running off of the back end of one of those?
Probably.
At least off of some of the work that initially was started with them. Because I know on Ryujinx's side of things, it was running even brand new games fairly flawless. Because for the record, when we did the Dread Rando, that Rando got put out really quickly. And yeah, it ran fine. I think I tested Dread day one and it ran fine in it.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's one of those. Ryujinx was that good, and I've heard good about Yuzu.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't surprise me if Yuzu wasn't in the same boat.
Yeah. Oh, I have no grenades.
I'm the type with emulators, especially whatever I get first. If it runs good for everything I need it to, I don't care about any others.
Mm-hmm.
Double.
Oh God, I almost shot you.
Oh God.
I think I missed. Son of a god damn it.
Haha. Ow.
Yeah, I feel like I want to run like a poll of some sort. I just need like a general consensus poll. It's like, did you know that the Switch Online suite of classic games are emulators? Not even like, oh, it's this specific emulator from, that you probably know from the internet. No, it's an emulator. Did you know that before you read this question? Read this. I'm like, I need to know. Like, do some people not know and not understand that?
Oh, come on.
Son of a god damn it, I put 3 shots into him and it just didn't take. Because I just wasn't close enough. Ow.
Whoops, missed. Hold that. No. Someone just shot me in the back. Well.
Hello, sir. Thank you for dropping down. Oh god, there's an invisible person right there.
Spawns.
There's an Invisi on their side.
Off.
I just shot the walkway. Hey, got a double.
Oh, come on.
I got the triple. Oh, I'm gonna die here.
No, you're not. I got you.
Okay. Oh.
Double. Oh god, I'm gonna die now. Darn it. I love that I got you and then still managed to die after killing like 2 of them, kind of deal. And I think you got a triple off of that too.
I got a triple before I was about to die, but yeah. Oh, I'm between a rock and a hard place.
Is chasing me. Yep.
I will find it sad and funny when people play the Wind Waker on GameCube emulator and be like, where's my Swift Sail? Why is this the bad version of the game?
Part of me super hopes that the Switch Online emulator is a Dolphin emulator.
Mm-hmm.
Because that will be funny when people find out how to jailbreak the Switch 2 and can, throw the randomizer in there.
Yeah.
Also, I may or may not be one of the first ones to decide to do something stupid like that too.
Makes sense.
Also, I have put zero thought into what we're doing tonight.
I thought so.
I don't, however, think that I want to play Halo multiplayer all night.
Fair enough. That's why I have it as a pre-show consistently, because it's like, we can do this for about an hour on a Saturday, and then we are probably done at that hour mark. Also, it is not quite the first, photo I've seen of Gav's final form, but they put out a poster for the next batch of episodes, and we have Gav's final forms, I guess. It's weird. Because I think Gav is supposed to have like a 2-part final form that are both the same gimmick, just it can swap between the two.
That doesn't feel like a final form. That feels like a mid-season form.
I'm aware, but it's supposed to be the final form from all our understanding, because it's like, I think the orange one on the poster is the one that goes first, and then the purple one in the back is technically the final form, because it will be the last one to debut, but they're both the same gimmick, because the center part of the gimmick can turn upside down to swap between the two forms freely. So I think it's supposed to be like one's an attack form, one's like a defense form or something. I don't know that part though, to be honest.
I haven't watched the show enough to care.
I have not watched the show in a few weeks, so...
Excuse you?
I was about to say, is our teammate shooting you for some reason?
I think so!
And he wants you to not have the overshield?
Okay.
Oh, there's no more rockets. I burned both of them.
Okay.
Ah, shit. I've got that Farewell to Switch Coliseum on in the background since yesterday. I love that the part of them talking about their donation total, it's either the full donation total or how many Switch 2s it is. Approximately. They're currently at 10 Switch 2s. Non-bundle, mind you.
So the worst version.
Yes. Oh no, I didn't look into the source of it, but someone in the Nintendo of Korea eShop made a boo-boo on artwork for the Donkey Kong game.
How so?
They might have spoiled something that wasn't supposed to be out yet about that game.
Ow.
So you know how you have that rock friend? That rock friend may not be staying, and that rock friend might be someone we know very well. Maybe.
Also, totally didn't mean to steal that kill from you.
That's fine. Basically, there's a piece of the box art that we've seen that has a baby Pauline hanging on to Donkey Kong. And she has what looks like a wristband made of rock that's the same color rock as our rock friend. So whatever that ends up meaning, I don't know. It's just apparently that seems to have been on the Korea eShop. It also means that technically, I guess this is a prequel. Unless de-aging shenanigans. Although, now that I think about it, it would... If this does end up being a prequel... What if this entire game is to explain why Pauline is mayor of New Donk City? And why it is Donkey Kong themed? Nintendo doesn't care about their lore that much, but I would find that kind of hilarious.
Ball.
Sorry.
I pegged him. I watched the shield.
I got him. I got his buddy.
I'm off on the melees.
Shit.
Na.
I got exploded.
Yep. Piss off. Worth it.
Oh, and since there's clothing options, I kind of hope there is an option to put Donkey Kong in purple pants in this game for no other reason than to make the reference. Let me put him in some purple pants.
Ow.
Shouldn't watch the video I saw where someone was like, the Donkey Kong family tree makes no sense. And I'm like, okay, are you confused on the fact that about why Donkey Kong is not Donkey Kong according to some games and that he's Cranky Kong? Is that what we got confused about? Because I honestly don't remember what's supposed to be accurate about that anymore. Because I thought it was supposed to be the case that the Donkey Kong in the original games is Cranky Kong, and the Donkey Kong Jr. from those same games is our current Donkey Kong. Unless somehow that was never actually the case and that was just fan theory.
I feel like technically that was a fan theory, but it's the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a sniper.
Again. I wonder if it's the same person that's been taking our heads off with that. They make a lap and somehow didn't run into anybody. God damn it. Apparently the Nintendo theme park in Florida is up and running. Someone did a walkthrough and got to hear Cranky's voice in English. He's exactly what he should sound like. It's not quite full Scrooge, but it has a very Scrooge energy to it. And I'm like, yes, he should have some Scrooge McDuck energy to him. Oh, they have energy sword. Shit. Yeah, they don't have
Okay.
an ow.
I just stole 2 kills, and I do not regret that.
That's fine. At least the energy sword guy died. That's all that I cared about in that exact moment.
I just got a killing spree. Okay, yep. I was wondering when I was gonna lose that. I stayed alive for far too long.
Oh, dagnabbit. Got fucking bull-truded. They have the energy sword back. Ow.
And the energy sword's on our side. Darn it. Shouldn't have popped back out.
Ow. Oh, he's above me.
Nope. Nope. Darn it.
Shit.
Darn it. Darn it. I keep
Where
finding
the-
all 3 of them at the same time.
Where the fuck are the rockets on this map? One of our teammates found the rockets, and I'm like, where? Uh-oh. Oh, no!
No, you had rockets and sword. No, you are dying, sir.
He might have blew all of his rockets, to be honest. I don't think he had any left.
I think so. Ow. Sword on my X.
Ow.
Well, good that did call that out. Did they really not go after sword?
Probably.
They really did not go after sword. That's funny.
They might not have known it was there, to be honest.
They probably didn't.
Ow, 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 ow.
Ow, sword on my X. Alright, good. Teammates got sword.
Ow.
Bull. Really?
No, I wasn't close enough.
Got him.
I tried for the swing because I was like, I'm really close enough for it. Nope.
Haha. Wasted that regen. Jesus, I got 15 of our kills.
Ah, yeah.
I think every life I either got a kill or I got an assist.
Huh. The guy who does Writercraft, apparently he put up a video being like, here is the things I will add to this game and add to the mod eventually.
That he'll add to the mod soon, TM.
I think it's just the case of like, here's the stuff I'm willing to add, here's the stuff I'm not willing to add. Because I think the hard line in the sand is, do we have an official design for it? Yes, probably. No, then no. Even though Icarus isn't that, Icarus counts as that because we have no official design for Icarus, but yet it's in the mod. Because I know some of the SIC stuff he won't add because, for all intents and purposes, it would be the exact same as the stuff in the mod right now. Like, there's no point in doing an SIC version of any of the wizard stuff besides what's unique because it's the exact same translated when into the Minecraft mod. It would look no different. It's why I think Kugamaga is black and white instead of in color.
We get stuff like Glare and Glare 2.
Right. Right, but that's Toei's fault. That's at least Toei's fault on that conversation. Well, if I can sit down and schedule them in advance instead of just a day in advance, all of TGS for 2023 should be out the door soon. Because the playlist is ordered, I just haven't scheduled anything beyond whatever needed to go out the next day. I just didn't feel like it. So,
Fair.
like, 4 went out yesterday, 4 went out today, and I think it's enough for about, I think I figured like 3.5 days ish. And then all of TGS is out, and then what's left that's up there is year end, and then whatever TGSR we were doing that year. Or TGSRs we were doing that year.
Yay, this map.
Take the cannon to meet in the middle and die.
Yep. Or come up from the side to meet in the middle and die.
Yeah, because all combat is within that middle room and then the 2 adjacent rooms. Combat does not extend
Mostly that
past
middle
there.
room.
Yeah. Really, it's the doorway of the 2 adjacent rooms, really.
All right, Halo 3 pistol. Never mind.
I'm just like, come on. No.
I can't believe we didn't find anyone. I got some. Ow.
Apparently they went middle.
Sorry.
That's fine. Got sniped in the back of the head for my troubles.
Double. Okay. I take back half of what I said about the Halo 3 pistol. I actually got a kill with the Halo 3 pistol.
I mean, I have too on the very rare occasion. I feel like you should be embarrassed if you get killed by that pistol.
I don't know. It feels like it might have actually been doing more damage this time around. They might have rebalanced it.
That'd be nice.
Nope, they didn't. I just got lucky. Okay. Nope, never mind.
Like I said, you should feel embarrassed if you get killed by that pistol.
3 shots in the back of the head, no shield bust. Yeah, no.
Shit. Just did not get enough damage there at all.
Okay, is this just going to be my thing? See how many people I can kill with the pistol at this point? Because I feel like that might just be my thing now.
I mean, what works? I was about to say, I should not be trying to fight the whole goddamn team right now. But I am out of options.
I think we had them in a hallway right there and just was fighting. Well, that sucked. Hi.
Shit. Damn, you're a guy. Oh my god, I got that jump for once. It's not gonna matter!
I found a hole that I didn't know existed, and I am now somewhere else.
Ow.
Oh, sorry!
That's fine! Take the rocket launcher somewhere if it still had rockets.
I think it despawned instantly, so it probably was out.
Okay.
I totally did not mean to do that. I have been delayed on my melees all night, so yeah. Hey, that's my trick. No. I have started something.
Oh no.
I just had someone trying to fight me with the pistol.
Oh god.
Darn. I was actually kind of hoping that would explode in his face.
If only.
Ouch. That was a well-placed grenade. Dude, you might have just bounced that grenade back in your face. Well, thanks for that regen. I actually could use that down here too, guys. Thanks. That was actually very helpful. I love that they don't realize I'm down here. they completely did not realize I was down there for like a good 5 seconds.
Man had every advantage in the world, still couldn't kill me with the pistol.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it might have been. And then no. No. Just no. New weapon for the win? Question mark?
Can you get the jump again? Oh my god. How am I getting the jump? I never get this jump. The shortcut jump.
There's rock. Hey, no, stop that.
Ow, fuck.
You jerk.
Was he hiding?
He followed you around.
Okay.
Oh. Whee! Grenade! Grenade! Ow. Okay, that works. Someone got... You picked up the kill. That worked.
Unfortunately,
got sniped, I saw.
The sniper guy was like, I'm just going to keep firing until you die.
I will either kill you or die trying.
That guy doubled up pistols for no good reason. I saw that.
Almost did that. Piss. I died to that last grenade. That's why I was like, piss.
That's interesting to find out.
What?
So, at the Epic Universe Park in Universal Studios, in the Nintendo Land stuff, or actually not Nintendo Land stuff, in like the central park area that connects all the different parks, including Nintendo Land, there's a Zelda reference. Like, an explicit Zelda reference there.
Okay.
It's the only Zelda reference at that park, because the only thing is the Mario Land and the Donkey Kong Land. Also, I find it funny that this Zelda reference is Twilight Princess, Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf. Not even Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom Zelda. No, Twilight Princess Zelda.
Twilight Princess or OOT. Because, I mean, you could technically say either one. I think because of how it's more modernized. Oh, God, that was almost a rocket in the face. I think because of it being more modernized, it probably is meant to be TP, but
it honestly
utilized the same.
It looks like Twilight Princess art that they have translated to stained glass.
I don't know. I'm getting more OOT vibes.
Yeah. I think that I swear that Zelda one. I'm like that. I swear that is a render of Twilight Princess Zelda I have seen before.
Bull.
Kind of curious if that means Nintendo has plans to do a Zelda addition to their Nintendo suite of theme park stuff with Universal.
Had about enough of you people.
Oh god. I say that and I just literally have thought of the ride they would do. They bring back crossbow training and turn it into a theme park ride. Oh. I almost would want that. Just for the people to be like, what do you mean it's based off a specific game? It's like, yeah, it's a specific game. Have you never heard of crossbow training for the Wii? One of the forgotten Zelda titles. That isn't the CDI stuff, mind you, granted. I think people would be more willing to remember the CDI games than crossbow training these days.
Okay, this guy's really getting on my nerves. He's putting like 3 shots into me in melee and killing me every time.
Oh, he died. Okay. No. I saw you try to do the snipe melee. No, denied. Die. You're bad. Oh, I put that right under the walkway, so it's useless.
That was my fault. That's what you get for doing that.
I just had to stare at him being like, sir, what the fuck are you doing? You are not even teabagging me, and you are wasting ammo, and you have died for your stupidity. Goodbye. Your team's not even winning. I don't even know who you are, but I'm pretty sure you are not that high up on your team even, sir.
No, it was the top on the team.
Okay.
Ow. Nope. Y'all can't win a fair fight for nothing.
Glad that second rocket missed the teammate. Because I was trying to shoot them, but they all died.
Piss off.
Well, thankfully
Awesome, that was a pistol kill.
Well, thankfully the internet stuff I had to sort out today has made it to where no change on my end, thankfully. Got a, what I didn't know even existed, a Ethernet switch thing for my parents. It's basically a box that you plug 5 Ethernet connections into, and it goes in out as necessary.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know those existed. But they were wanting a better solution to the Wi-Fi extender they've had for a while, because their TV and stuff has not had, like, stable connection last while. I was like, okay, can I find a Wi-Fi extender that has, like, 2 ports? No. But here's a switcher that Does everything you would probably want to do, except it doesn't have to rely on the Wi-Fi. That would have been nice to know the first time around, because that would have solved the problem. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work if you go from modem to router, because the router was in my room. So I had to basically swap the router for the switcher, so the switcher's in my room. And no effect on the internet. Because this streaming, yeah, streaming would have been the hard test. Like, if I'm streaming with, like, 0 issues, then everything's fine. I've dropped, like, 0.1% of frames, which is about normal.
I got the leaving matchmaking.
Well, I guess that gives us an excuse to swap to something.
Am I still in the lobby with you?
No, I don't think so. Or, no, it says it is.
I am. There it goes. Okay. I was gonna say if I am, then yeah, I was gonna need you to go into campaign real quick, but since you did that, that works.
Mm-hmm.
I have 0 idea.
On the chip away at stuff on Minecraft?
I feel like I know why I'm in this mood. Seeing the Mario Kart stuff, I'm like, I would be down for something like that. Except for the problem is with 8, we kind of need other people.
Yeah.
Sure, let me get it set up.
Okay. Have to make sure I have the most recent update in there. I know I downloaded it. I don't think I just put it in a folder. They had to do a revised version because of issues. Make sure.
I know I grabbed the latest one, so.
No. Or I did, and I did not see it. Oh, there it is. Delete that one. Is the not fixed one. That's mine, Salto.
You're gonna sunset stream, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That was like weird.
What?
My mouse was invisible in Minecraft, but I could see it on the side stream.
Hmm.
But I took it out of full screen and it fixed itself. I was like, what? Why?
Well, I'm ready.
Alright, I'll take the stream down. We'll be right back with some Ridercraft here in a second, folks.